Welcome back to Nerdrotic Live. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. This is the alternate channel to the mothership that is Nerdrotic, where we can talk about anything and everything because I don't care about the algorithm on this channel at all. But it seems to be doing okay because all of my live streams of late have been about the paranormal, a bit about UFOs, and you guys seem to like it, and I love it. As a matter of fact, if the culture war ends someday, never know, it might. I would love to just talk about this stuff from here on out. But it's been a big week. So welcome, everybody. Electronically yours, Gordo Fabulous, Mary Highland, Michelle Jolin, Bear, Nerd Fun, Edvardal, I can't read, Deaths 0079, PJ Riddle, Yes, I Am Here, Renee Cruz, Philip A. Demick. Greetings, everybody. Miss MK Fox. Oh, my eyes are bad. God, my eyes. It's time for me to get some new glasses. So it's been a crazy week. I actually was going to do this last night, and I realized by the time I was done watching Unidentified, it was 1:30 a.m., and I'm like, I'll just save it till tomorrow. So I watched Ancient Aliens, the latest episode. I watched Unidentified, and then of course I watched the entire Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar, Jeremy Corbell interview, which I thought was fantastic, by the way, just absolutely fantastic. Bob Lazar had a bit of a rough start. He had a migraine, and I thought he was kind of tripping over himself a little bit, but he really gained steam as the thing goes on. I think he got more relaxed, and Bob Lazar is a gift to ufology. Why is Bob Lazar a gift to ufology? He has not profited off of this in any way. He even talked about this in the Joe Rogan podcast. He talked about whatever money he gets, he donates it. He doesn't want attention. He didn't believe in UFOs before. He wants nothing to do with the fringes of ufology. And now that we're getting a trickle disclosure, we're seeing a giant schism in ufology, and it's time. I think we're at a time, decades into this now. We don't want to be gatekeepers, but we really need to start getting serious about this. I have been a believer in UFOs since I think I've always believed in them since when I first heard of them and I started seeing some of the evidence around, but I've never been one to go all the way. I don't believe in the really out there woo-woo stuff. I will certainly consider anything because life is weird, and we're finding out every day, even scientifically, how strange things are. And we even have the breath of fresh air in science, who is Michio Kaku, who says, who definitely will entertain any thought and talks about how physics, goes through phases. And once there's paradigm shifts. And I think we're in a paradigm shift in ufology. Now, we'll start out. I'll talk about Ancient Aliens because Ancient Aliens, when you watch it right next to Unidentified, it shows you that schism in ufology where Ancient Aliens will talk about everything and really connect, especially this last episode really loosely connects some stuff. It's certainly interesting, and I love the ancient civilization aspect of it. But when you see it next to Unidentified, it shows you the difference. Now, I'm going to mix in all things we were talking about today, but the last Unidentified really kind of muddied the waters. And I think it did that on purpose. So it's setting up a narrative throughout the season of here's the Nimitz, here's the East Coast. And then at the end of this episode, they were hinting that some of these things could have been drones. I certainly think that one of those 3 videos they showed is not a UFO. I think the gimbal one is questionable. And I think of all people, Mike Barra pointed that out on his last live stream, because what they did not talk about in that gimbal video was the aura around it. They talked about it the week before in Ancient Aliens. But that aura around it, Mike Barra showed the back of a jet that looked like that gimbal. Now, you could be looking at something flying from behind like a drone. So I would say there's a little bit of a question with that. But the other 2, those are crazy. So we'll start out with Ancient Aliens real quick, because that one, again, they're 14 seasons in, and they're stretching it quite a bit. There's a lot. They're going over stuff they've gone over before. So they talked about the Dog Star Sirius B, and the Dogu tribe, and the origins of the word dog, how it connects to dragons, and basically what the one thing they did connect, that they've been connecting for a long time, which makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. No, is that I believe that there was an ancient civilization predating history that we have completely forgotten about, that was pretty advanced, that was a worldwide civilization. They might have even shared a language. There was definitely contact with ancient civilizations. They weren't all separated from each other because there's too many similarities. Whether that's aliens or not, I don't know. But they did those blue stones that they found. That was interesting, that they only find in that one place in Mali. And I have a friend who went to Mali. Mali's an effed up place right now. So Mali, I don't know about right now, but at the time, 5-6 years ago, I did a video for her. I edited a video that I had to hide. As a matter of fact, I can't show it to this day. The video for her was to try to get some funding over here in the States for a school for girls, because at the time in Mali, it was illegal to teach girls anything. They couldn't go to school. They were basically a slave race. So if you were female, so there was these pockets of Mali where they would have these girl schools. And I did a video so we can do a fundraiser, and we did the fundraiser, got a bunch of money. And then the town got taken over by the local tribal warlord, and he kidnapped all the girls, and some of them were escaped, and some of them were hidden. And if I showed the video, it would show possibly where they were hidden, so I couldn't show the video, so it's gone. Crazy world we live in. And yeah, and people complain about this country. We live in a great country. Okay, let's just remember that. But Mali's a weird place. So they have that tribe that has connections to Egypt, that knew about Sirius B before we knew about Sirius B, and that comes up a lot. The ancients had an outstanding understanding of the stars and astrology, and partially, I think that reason was because they wanted to watch out for comets, because I believe a comet came down and almost wiped out the human race at one point about 12,000 years ago. So after that, you would want to pay attention to the stars, map the stars, and see if you saw anything coming. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, whether that's aliens or not, I don't know. But they showed, I thought they did a pretty good job showing the connection of the word Dogu and dog. They also dug up, I forgot the name of those little clay statues in Japan that look like the guys are wearing spacesuits. Those are interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. We saw our boy Giorgio making the connections. But again, it's just I thought they had a really good season premiere. I wish they would. I wish they would do a whole season on Antarctica. I really want to know what the hell's going on down there. Antarctica is where the most interesting things are going down. There's a bunch of stuff going down that we don't know about, whether it be purely scientific, like there's magnetic anomalies, there's something going on with the Earth. There's giant masses under there creating strange gravity anomalies. There's something going on. But it might connect to what we are hearing in Unidentified. And what Unidentified did this week, the one interesting thing before I thought they muddied the waters was they showed the East Coast event with basically this. It mirrored the Nimitz encounter. But this happened about 5 or 6 years ago. They talked to one pilot who described the UFO as being a sphere with a cube inside, which is just utterly bizarre. And that it flew in between two planes flying in formation, and these things are becoming a safety issue. like a serious safety issue. The biggest problem I'm starting to have with unidentified, and I want to agree with Richard Dolan on this. I want to not muddy the waters in ufology and think this is some kind of an op. But after watching this episode, I'm convinced it's an op. I'm convinced it's leaked disclosure. It's trickled out disclosure. But now I'm really wondering why. Like, why is this happening now? And it's starting to look like, to me, it's political. Like, this is a political thing, that this goes down to the whole, it's been insinuated that there's some kind of a deep state civil war going on within our government, or it could be just two power factions vying for power, for lack of a better term, within our government. I don't know. They don't mention the president ever, but they mention Congress quite a bit. And they're following this To the Stars Academy, who are all government officials. So, yeah. And then last week they showed John Podesta, which I thought was a bad move, personally. But they talked to this pilot, and he seems everybody I've seen seems completely legit. And they talked to another pilot who they asked him directly, is there any vehicles that can move like this that we have? And he wouldn't answer the question. So that could be disinformation or not. But towards the end of the episode, while they were insinuating some of these videos could be drones, Lou Elizondo and the guy from the Skunk Works both said that we kind of don't have that. So they're worried that somebody might have leapfrogged us, but they don't think so either. And it seems like they're just kind of setting up drama within the series, and then they're going to show us some more stuff. I'm kind of wondering where they're going from here. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And you hear all of this like leaked, government sanctioned UFO knowledge, in my opinion. You put it next to Ancient Aliens, which is really kind of the woo-woo out there stuff. With my boy David Hatcher Childress. It could be aliens, yeah. And then there's the Bob Lazar interview, which I still think, while I think the Nimitz encounter right now becomes the most important UFO counter in UFO history, because it is the government giving us some of this information. Whether you believe that or not, I'll leave that up to you. And if you have problems with it, I completely understand, considering how they've treated this subject in the past and how they've treated anybody who believes in UFOs, which is with scorn, and they shame us. And, honestly, I don't care, but I don't need their validity, but I do want to know what the hell is going on. But you hear all of this leaked disclosure, and then you hear Bob Lazar's story, which is decades old now, that hasn't changed. What I did hear, I don't know if you guys have heard this before, let me know. I never heard this story before, that the guy Bob Lazar replaced at Area 51 died. I had not heard that. So he died for using a plasma saw or something, and they tried to like basically break into whatever held the element 115, and it killed him or something. That was new. But everything else was the same. He got his job from Los Alamos. He went and worked at S4, not necessarily at Area 51. He got to see one craft. He stated there was 9 crafts there, but he only got to work on one, that they actually got that one in the air a little bit. But he basically said that ship coming to us when it did was like a nuclear reactor being dropped in, Victorian times. But now we are decades past it. And, he was even wondering if we've got this thing going or somehow. It's clear the government knows about this. Now, how much? I think they've known quite a bit. I mean, I'll even go so far as to believe that we've made some sort of contact. Call me crazy on that one. But Bob Lazar's story is one of the first ones that really made me a full believer. And that was, again, decades ago. I've read tons of books by a lot of authors. Some of them were complete crap and some were amazing. I think The Day After Roswell is still one of the best books I've ever read. That one is fantastic. And Philip Corso seems like a legit guy to me. There's a lot of interviews out there. I'm sure they're on YouTube with Art Bell that are just great. Lazar was right about gravity waves. How crazy was that? I didn't even know that. So he talked about gravity, and basically that's what they say these ships travel on, is they produce their own, they create this bubble, for lack of a better term, and then they ride the wave. They ride a gravity wave. But to create this takes it's kind of like in Star Trek Discovery when the ice cream eating queen got the power of a supernova and rerouted it through the not the Enterprise but the Discovery, and was able to power the time suit. Well, that's basically how these ships run. They get the power of a star basically and put it in this element 151 and create a gravity wave. Now, we discovered gravity waves 2015, 2016. When two black holes collided somewhere, and we had created this the satellite that basically can read gravity waves, and we didn't even know what it was until then. So we now know it's a wave. We still don't know much more than that. So I'm guessing that gravity is created by mass, and this all this mass, our planet, the stars, everything's in motion. So, the moon is orbiting Earth. Earth is orbiting the sun. The sun is spinning in the galaxy. The galaxies something's making all of them spin. And in the heart of the galaxy, it's believed to be a black hole. Some people think pulsars. I'm thinking black hole. So everything is in motion. Everything's moving, and maybe that creates the gravity. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm a dropout. So we're going to get to a couple super chats, and we're just going to get to the chat. I don't know. What did you all think of if you haven't seen the Joe Rogan podcast, man, make time to listen to it. It was really well done. I was thinking Joe was going to shoot him down because I've been listening to Joe for a long time, and I agree with him on a lot of stuff. On a lot of stuff. And he said he kind of dipped out on the UFO thing when things just got too weird. I've had that problem as well. I experienced that the first time I went to contact in the desert, and there's, I don't want to shame people who like this. So I'll Laura Eisenhower, Dave Wilcock, I listen to them speak, and I'm just like, that's a little too much for me. I'll just say, but it seems like Joe Rogan was feeling the same way. But when it comes to Bob Lazar, it's a complete different story. He doesn't do the UFO circuit. You notice Bob Lazar isn't I don't believe he's at Contact in the Desert. I don't think, maybe he's gone to a couple of these things, but I don't think so. I think he hates them. I think he absolutely hates them. Dilbertson for £5. Regardless of whether Bob is lying, one has to evaluate recent disclosures in the context of such accounts. Has the balance of probabilities shifted? Wow, that's a good question. And honestly, you just have to, I know he's been right about 5 or 6 things that we didn't know before. So it's just a simple equation of, what did we not know before that he said was true that we couldn't prove that has now been proven? Well, in the film with Jeremy Corbell, he talked about having to put his hand on some device that had these little metal things that read his not his fingerprints to identify him. Nobody said this thing existed until they found one. And that was, honestly, that was enough for me. But element 115 should be enough. This guy was talking about an element that it'd be astronomical for him to accidentally get it right. And that's what they named it. So that was pretty impressive too. The gravity wave thing has been pretty impressive. How about the fact that Area 51, being admitted Area 51 existed when he said it existed, nobody believed it. There was always, I'm not going to say always, but I do remember prior to Bob Lazar coming out that people talked about weird stuff going on in the Nevada desert, but they could have been just talking about all the nuclear tests and the chemical tests and all the crazy stuff. Yeah, that's not a place. I mean, now I'm kind of wondering why I even drive through it, to be honest with you. Why do I even drive through it? But I'm going to be driving through it soon, as a matter of fact, because Mrs. Nerdrotic just bought a trailer out in Utah for $1,200, but it's a bitchin' trailer for $1,200. And I have to go get it. So if anybody's in Utah, I know Mary's out there in Utah. Tito's World for $2. Hail Nerdrotic. Good to see you. God to see you, he says. Well, God to see you too. God to see you too. Tito, no, I'm just kidding. Good to see you too, my friend. Thank you for the $2. Echo Base Network. What is up, fellas? What's up, Coach and Nicholas Glenn for $1.99? Hail, Gary, take all my monies. I don't want to take all your monies. I'll take some, but not all. Not all. And yeah. We also have to talk about Meg, our friend Meg, who's going to have brain surgery. It's a friend of ours. I'll bring that up in a little bit. C Walker 94 for $2. What part of this topic is related to a bra ad? Did you get a bra ad? Well, I don't know. Aliens have they don't have breasts and they're very sad. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so boobs might be related to the alien hybrids. They still need to breastfeed. That's it. Danielle Chi for $1. Thank you for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. Michelle P for $1.99. Love this. Looking forward to the next Exozone 2. Yes, the next Exozone will be next week. And we will talk more about this. And the big news for next Exozone is Doomcock is an experiencer now. He's officially a UFO experiencer. He's going to be showing his photos for the first time. We have an Exozone exclusive. I don't know if anybody's watching an alien. Is it Alien Menopause? Oh, that'd be terrible. So if anybody's watching at Alien Con, like sitting in line waiting for Richard Dolan, tell Richard Dolan I said hi. Tell Richard Dolan we need to get him on the show. Aaron Friedman for $4.99. Hi, Gary. Check out NASA and Mars pics today. Mars Mystery, NASA Curiosity Mars rover photos, mysterious alien anomaly on red planet. We're looking that up right now. Right now. This is the power of math, people. No, I'm just kidding. I've been trading barbs with the Dreckies for the last week. It's been pretty fun. Mars Mystery Curiosity rovers 12 hours ago. Here we go. We're taking a look at this live on the air. Live on the air. Oh, it's the Express, the pinnacle of journalism. Oh my God! Why is there an ad? There we go. Go away. Black hole bombshell. NASA and Penny Lancaster 48 and Rod Stewart 74 announce what? A baby? Jesus, they're old. Why Piers Morgan cannot stand Meghan Malky? Well, I can't stand her. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know who she is. Okay, so we're going to close that. And we're going to close that because I'm not into advertising for people. Yes, I will get an ad block. I hear you. I hear you. Mars Mystery, NASA Curiosity, Mars rover photos, mysterious alien anomaly on the red planet. NASA's Curiosity rover has photographed an unexpected anomaly amid the red planet's rocky surface, the U.S. Space Agency has revealed. Here we go. Oh, we've seen that already. Is it a new one? Curiosity, Martian climate. Is it the am I seeing it something new here? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Oh, okay. Never mind. I should read on before I judge. Look at how many god damn ads there are in this fracking thing. What's that? Climate change shock, sea level rises, forecasts were wrong by 80%, scientists warn. Climate change shock, sea level rise forecasts were wrong by 80%. Well, I'm just going to say that Mike Barra on his last live stream showed a bunch of coastal photos that were 100 years apart, including one from my old hometown. There's a place called La Jolla Cove, which according to a lot of people should be underwater, and it's not. It's still not. And actually the sea hasn't risen my entire lifetime, which is now, significant, 50 years almost. But let's get to this. Curiosity is NASA's car-sized rover that has been exploring the crater Gale on Mars since 2012. The rover's exhaustive mission includes investigating the brutal Martian climate and geology and assessing whether basic life ever thrived on Mars. Duh, it did. I just think it got wiped out. And UFO conspiracy theorists, ancient alien theorists say yes. UFO conspiracy theorists. Why did see? Frack you and your conspiracy theorist. Now believe NASA's Mars Curiosity rover has now stumbled across the greatest discovery yet, after an anomaly was clearly spotted in the photo. The Curiosity's black and white photograph shows the desert landscape with high rocky hills in the background. In front of the larger rock formations, an apparent elevated white blob is clearly evident. Let's get to where's the actual picture? Oh, okay. Wow. Can I zoom in on this? Let's blow this up a little bit. Well, what are they going to call it? A artifact or yeah, that's something. That is something. We've seen stuff like this before too, right? I mean, I remember seeing that little shaft of light. Let's see what they say here. They're saying it's cosmic rays. It's swamp gas. The photograph, which was taken June 16th with a June 16th stamp, has sparked the expected frenzy among alien life conspiracy theorists. Dude, who have rushed. You see what we deal with? We have the Express, the effing Express, using the word conspiracy, unironically, who have rushed to claim it is conclusive evidence of alien life on Mars. However, where's the claim of that? Who said it? However, the reality of the anomaly is in fact more prosaic, a cosmic ray, camera lens flare, or simply sunlight reflected off of a UFO. I mean, some rocks are almost certain because sunlight reflects off rocks that are hanging in the air all the time. Duh, dummy. Stupid. Okay, so again, let's zoom in on this. All right, we're zooming in on this. So they're going to have to say, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor here. So that is a reflection off of what? Okay, so we clearly have the foreground here. Then we have this ridge. Looks like there's a bit of a plain back here, and then there's some more mountains. So it needs to be reflecting off the plain. So what? Reflecting off of? I know what they could be reflecting off of. A freaking ship. That's what it could be reflecting off of. Cosmic rays. Okay, cosmic rays. I am not a scientist, but cosmic rays are not visible. If they're saying it's from the lens, well, then we'd see that crap all the time. I have seen thousands of Martian photos, and we don't see that. And I will find the other photo. Cosmic rays are formed highly charged atomic. Yeah, whatever. Blah, blah. Armed with 17 cameras, the Curiosity rover has roamed 13.38 miles on Mars, beaming back vital data and tens and thousands of high-definition photographs, which we have only seen a fraction of, by the way. And this is not the first time NASA's iconic Mars rover has captured anomalies on the red planet. No. Yeah, there's the other one. Now, this one, at least it's in front of the ground, so you can definitely say maybe, but dude, this one looks like it's a shaft of light coming up. Yeah, this one, that looks like something blasting up from the ground to me. Or something taking off, maybe. It's hard to get a scale because there's no trees, so we're looking at rocks, and we don't know how far away that is. But that's definitely what I was talking about. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Oh boy, I don't want to zoom out too much. Thanks for showing. Thanks for telling me about that. That is cool. I like seeing stuff like that, and I love hearing the garbage we hear from NASA. Okay, so care for a jelly baby, California jelly baby for 10 pounds. The Nimitz stuff looks legit, but is it extraterrestrial beings or elder humans? Hancock's Sunken Kingdoms theory is based on ancient humans, not ancient aliens. Exactly. And they even talked about that a little bit in Ancient Aliens, and that was the connection I was going to make. Thank you. Was they talked about the fishmen. And the connection that there's 3 cultures that we know of, but there's multiple that have a god that is a human-like fish that walks into the ocean at night and during the day comes up and teaches humanity about civilization. That's weird that it's shared with so many cultures. That can be definitely confused. Graham Hancock's theory is Atlantis was a planet-wide or an empire, basically, and their capital was destroyed. The survivors of this civilization went around the earth trying to reseed civilization with the surviving hunter-gatherers, because if a cataclysm happened today, the people who would survive are the hunter-gatherers who are still out there. Those are the people who would survive. So I mean, like, that makes tons of logical sense. So the people who still had knowledge would try to teach them how to, farm and your basic stuff. That's maybe what that god was. Who knows? Maybe something lives in our ocean. How would we know? Because we haven't really fully we've mapped it via satellite, but we don't really know what the hell's down there at all. We're still discovering sea life, and finding sea life we thought was extinct for hundreds of years, still swimming around in the ocean. So something could be going on, and it could be us, or it could be a different kind of us, or it be aliens and they have been here all along. But they clearly, this is the part that we need to think about. I don't know if it's disturbing or not, but they don't care if they're seen. It seems like in the past, the UFOs have often cared that they were seen. And I'm convinced if they're advanced enough to get here in it from interstellar space, that they could cloak pretty easily. So who knows? There could be one above my house right now, and I wouldn't know it. But the ones that don't care if they're seen, to me, tells me that they must be so far advanced. They're just like it's not unlike a plane flying over one of the tribes in the Amazon jungle. We don't care if we're seen, and they've had no contact with us. But maybe we should think about it a little more before we freak them out by flying one of our planes over. But we don't care enough because, like, we're not going to bug them. They're not going to bug us. We're just going to fly over them. That's kind of where we're at with this Nimitz encounter. When the planes got close, they're like, get away, go away, like shooing a fly. And I think, yeah, now that I think about it, there's something very concerning about that. Because if they don't care, then they don't care. Lens flares and a Starfleet Delta. Are they filming STD on Mars? Well, if they might be. They might be. Yeah, I talked to my insider today, and he still says Star Trek Discovery is not happening. So we're getting some Star Trek shorts, but we knew that. Again, all the information that was given out, we knew. There's nothing new. It's pretty easy to find. It was all announced back in February and January. Okay, let's get back to the chat. Thank you for the super chats. Scott Williams, thank you for the $5. Care for a Jelly Baby, thank you for the 10 pounds. Aaron Friedman, thank you for the $4.99 and the what's up with that Mars anomaly. Random thought. Did disclosure start ramping up around the time of the gravity wave discovery? Coincidence? Did that just announce them that we've moved up a tech level? Mark Robson, I'm gonna say no, but that's a good thought. I think disclosure has been ramped up since Oumuamua came through the solar system. Doomcock and I were discussing that on Exozone, and that seems to be, there was the Sunspot Observatory, Oumuamua, right around the same time, and then all of a sudden we start getting disclosure. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. What's Oumuamua? I will show you. This is a bad artist representation. They don't know what it really looks like. It's made out of metal. But this is an artist representation. They think it's a giant shard. It's freaking CNN. I probably shouldn't have gone to them first. Hang on. Let's go to, I don't want to go to NASA. Okay, we'll go to Popular Mechanics. There. Earlier this year, and this was in 2017, astronomers at the Pan-STARRS Observatory in Hawaii detected a planetary object that had come from outside the solar system for the first time. The October 19 discovery came after the object had already made its closest approach to Earth 5 days before astronomers around the world turned our most advanced telescopes toward the object, only approximately 400 meters long and perhaps 40 meters wide, and confirmed that it is without a doubt on a trajectory that will take it back out into interstellar space. Originally thought to have been a comet, the object revealed characteristics that are more similar to an asteroid, more rock and less ice. Actually, it was metal. It was given a new designation. And for the first interstellar object ever discovered, then was named Oumuamua, a Hawaii word for translates as messenger. Astronomers have managed to learn about Oumuamua, an elongated tumbling asteroid of rock. No, it's metal. See, this is an old article. Do they talk about here's the actual footage of it. It's kind of crappy, but I'm looking to see if they talk about it changing trajectory and speed, which they don't. So we're going to talk about and by the way, it was scientists who had discovered that it changed speed. Oh God, yeah. I'm just looking at these articles that are trying to like do mental gymnastics. Like, how could something change speed, or how could something? What did one of these articles say? How could something? Here's the headline. How could something accelerate without changing speed? Uh, so we had Harvard scientists notice that it slingshotted around the sun, changed trajectory, which means it changed direction and sped up. So nothing natural can do that as far as we know. So I think it's since that has happened, we've gotten disclosure. I don't know. I still don't know what the Sunspot observatory conspiracy theories are, but I certainly want to know. Uh, the thing is, Google's searching algorithm has gotten a little stricter lately, and every time I try to find something like this, it gives me space.com and all these official news sources. Joshua Cope and Sunspot Observatory. 5 facts you need to know. I wonder if this. I'm going to look up this. Yeah. Okay. So military helicopters flying near the Sunspot Observatory in New Mexico. What is going on there? The affidavit accuses Joshua Cope of being the person who had access to a laptop. He is a janitor who was hired a year ago. So basically, they're blaming a janitor for being a P to the E to the D to the O or something like that. I'm sorry if I'm going to sound a little X-Files here. That sounds like some basic X-Files crap. Something else went down. I'm not sure. Why don't you use DuckDuckGo as a search engine? Because I'm old. I'm not gonna use Bing, that's for sure. Amua course corrected itself. It did. And the scientists are trying to course correct their opinions on this too. Cheryl Leara for $1.99. Thank you for an amazing and informative show. You are quite welcome. Sorry for the silence there. I'm trying to read you something interesting, but I'm really hesitant to read the official government version of events because that's the one I think is the most fictional. That is my opinion, but look what they've given us lately, to be honest with you. And that's why I look for alternative news. But I try to find all sides. Thank you, Cheryl. Eric K for $1.99. Waiting for the cookbook to serve man. Yes. And always serve them with A1 steak sauce. Arthur Stansow. How do I pronounce that last name, Arthur? Arthur Stansu for $5. Hail, Gary. Could we possibly be witnessing a temporal Cold War between factions of future humans? Maybe like kind of like Enterprise a little bit. You never know. I think once we find out, it will be much weirder than we can possibly imagine. I just think they've been here for a long time, and they really have no. Well, I think we've gotten technology. There's a lot of evidence. We've really advanced a lot in the last 100 years, like more than we did over the previous 1,000. And that doesn't get talked about enough. I don't think Gary. I don't think Greys are drones. I think they are post-humans from the future. They targeted study of reproduction and lack of genitalia could be because their futuristic infrastructure for reproduction is breaking down. Generic, thank you for the Canadian $20, and that is one of the most that theory is out there the most, and it is certainly something you got to considering what they look like. I personally think the Greys, I think they are like flesh drones. I think they are made. And A lot of people have thought that, and it's only, I could say in the last 10 years I started thinking that. Yeah, lens flares. Yes, I've already read that one. So let's go to the chat. Oh, conspiracy theory. STD is government mandated. Tokyo Gaijin for 240 yen. It is. It must be. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple videos on that. They're not going to like them. The aliens, they're making it past my tinfoil hat. They're stealing my oh, there are no such things as aliens, says Tracy Wilborn for $5. Smash that like button, by the way. Skin jobs. Yes, they're skin jobs. That's it. We've advanced technologically, but you can also see from our social media, we haven't progressed emotionally. Quentin, Lars, that almost makes the case. That makes the case that we've advanced technologically much farther than we have emotionally and socially. This alien chat is great. Oh, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. It's fun. I like doing this. It's a little break from it. Tonight, there will be an Inquisition in a couple hours on Doomcock's channel, where we will take on all kinds of stuff that we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to, I got to see if I hear from Mr. Trent, and I might do a Swamp Thing review, but I haven't heard from Mr. Trent yet. Nope, haven't heard from him. Yeah. Have not heard from. Yeah, one of the things we're going to cover on the Inquisition tonight, guys, is I noticed a comicbook.com article. They did an article on the ending of Game of Thrones possibly being ripped off from some Bollywood show, which it wasn't, by the way, because they're talking about Arya's move to kill the Night King, which was telegraphed in 2016, and this Bollywood show came out in 2018. But then I shot back on Twitter. It's like, oh, so you will report on plagiarism, and just not when it's in Star Trek Discovery. Okay, I'm glad we got that. That's what we're going to talk. We're going to talk about that. We're definitely going to talk about that. But back to the UFOs. I think that because I'm trans and I know a lot of trans people with the exact same weak jaw structure and high IQ, including myself, weak jaw muscles equals bigger brain stem very consistently. Okay. I've never heard that, but generic, I will trust you because I trust you implicitly. Thank you and because you're Canadian. I mean, obviously, for Canadian $10. Thank you. I think as long as you don't have a glass jaw, it's fine. It's fine. Psycho Dwarf 9, $2. Gray equals suits. Maybe. Maybe that's who's running CBS right now. That would actually make a lot of sense. Gary, yes, I agree with you. I like to hear that the grays are flesh drones and they feel like silicone or Play-Doh. I don't know what they feel like. Do you know what they feel? Illuminati, which is one of the best names. Illuminati for $5. Don't tell me you've actually touched one of them. That'd be freaky. The DMT effect. The one thing that is interesting about DMT was the study they did on, what was it, 5 separate people, and they all came back with kind of the same trip. They all went on the same trip. That's weird. That's freaking weird. And that's something we could talk to Doomcock about, is like, what if DMT is like a chemical that aligns our consciousness with this fabric of reality in a way where it's almost like if reality is like this giant program, and all the sub programs work independently of each other, but then they have some master program that aligns them all or something. That'd be crazy. And it's just a drug. It's just a drug, but it's a drug that's very, another weird thing about that is it's different plants that have no relation to each other, that a shaman had to figure this out. So how did he do that? Did he taste it all? Like, how did he know that? Like one thing, the ayahuasca, it's not DMT, but ayahuasca doesn't work unless you have a leaf that you put in that suppresses the enzyme in your stomach. Like, how in the hell do you know that? That's science. That's science, man. I like science. as Spock said. Mushrooms, M13 Fallen. Oh, I used to love mushrooms. They'd make me sick. I'd eat the mushrooms and I'd get sick, and then I'd go on a good old trip. Blade Runner Logan's Run action figures. Where? There's Logan's like Run Runner Logan's Run. Oh, I thought you said Blade Runner. Are there Logan's Runs action figures somewhere? I weren't there Megos? Weren't there Logan's Run Megos? See that this is like ADHD, like in real time, man. It's like UFOs, Megos. Whew, shoo. Man, that's my life. That's my life. Yeah, could have sworn there was Logan's Run Megos. Action Jackson. Oh, don't get me looking at toys. It'll just turn into toy hour, and you don't want that. You will be bored to death. I have been basically crucifying action figures for the last couple days. That's when I pin them up to the wall. I call them being crucified. So you will get to see new vantage points in my office very soon once I get my shelving up and everything. It'll be lots of fun. It's going to affect my video output a little bit, but you're going to get like 3 or 4 videos this week on the main channel. Things will slow down a bit, but it's because I've just been busy. And this is I got to warn my fellow YouTubers that this is the time where YouTubers start freaking out a little bit. It's summer. Kids are out of school. Like YouTube slows down over the summer. So nobody needs to freak out. It'll pick back up again in September. Take a little break. It's going to be okay. RIP Joe Rogan. Have you read the book Logan's Run? Thought it was great. You know, I haven't, but I read a comic book adaptation, I want to say, but that doesn't count. Read Life After Google. I heard that's a good book. Micronauts action figures, which were made by Mego. And I have some Micronauts original art from the comic book by Steve Ditko that I bought for $40. $40 at the time. The original Time Machine movie was surely made on psychedelic chemical inspiration. It certainly was, and I've watched that movie on psychedelic chemical stuff, and it was fantastic. It was great. Yeah, I found some, but it looks like it was like the TV show Logan's Run and not really the movie. Well, it's got the dark-haired guy, but it doesn't have here, I'll show you. Unless these are customs, but I could have sworn there was I remember seeing those when I was a kid. Yeah, here they are. And again, these could be customs though. I mean, like, listen, it's been a long friggin' time since the 70s. But oh yeah, there it is. There's the box right there. That was totally cool. Oh yeah, that was a legit. Look at that. What the hell? They came in bags? Oh, what the hell's that? I've never seen this. What's this? What's this? What the hell? Wow. Yeah, I love Migos. They're like my favorite. So they are my favorite. As you can tell. I've got so much more. Oh, I need to get that Batcave up there. Do we have a troll in here? Do we have somebody who needs to go? Oh, I need to fix those damn the links. I'll do that next time. Yeah. Sorry about that, mods. I'll get that fixed. I forgot to do that. I'll do that after the show. Dunning-Kruger for $10. 2% of the population can spontaneously entrance the Amazonian shamans say one of those was given to the receipt of ayahuasca. I can read ayahuasca. Given the receipt for ayahuasca to help more shamans enter the spirit realm and become healers and teachers. 2% of the population can spontaneously enter a trance. Really? That's cool. I can't be hypnotized. They've tried many a times. Because I was going to do it for when I was smoking. I was going to try to get hypnotized because I was trying everything, and they couldn't hypnotize me. I was just like, something's supposed to happen, and they think it has something to do with my ADHD. Ed Vrendal for £5. Gary, discussion topic. What possible event could have happened or will happen to make the powers that be decide to start pushing disclosure? That is a great question. And while I just floated out the theory of whatever happened with the Sunspot observatory, and that seemed like it was in conjunction with Oumuamua. And I know Doomcock's got a better theory on this than I do. So I kind of want to save that for the exozone. What other thing could it be? It's a distraction, or there's a serious, I mean, I don't talk about this much, but because like YouTube really hates it. The deep state is real, in my opinion, and there is a serious battle of information, of all kinds of stuff going on, because there are certain factions out there to want us to move one way politically, so we can, to what end? It's a power grab. It's all power and money, and to keep the elites the elite. And it's really to break a system, I think, because I think our system might, to some, has served its purpose, and it's time to move on. And some of these people, because they made a lot of money, think they can make decisions for us, because we still live in a country where you have a big bank account, and some people who have the big bank accounts and some people around them think that automatically makes you smart, and it really doesn't. And there's all kinds of different kinds of smart. All right. Obviously there's clever, there's street smart, there's book smart. And honestly, I would rather be street smart than anything. That's just because I've lived my life. And that's basically, street smart's a bad term for it. It's an experience. You've just learned from your experiences, because I've experienced a lot of, I've experienced a lot of different things than your average 50-year-old. And I did it at a very young age. So at the time, I had experienced a lot of different things than your average 17-year-old. Like your average 17-year-old wasn't cooking meth. So, yeah, I'm not saying it was great experience, but it was an experience, and I wouldn't recommend it. And I'm glad my kids don't know how to do that. One of the weirdest things in life, and all the parents out there will know what I'm talking about, is when your kid reaches the age when you started effing stuff up, and you're like, oh, I was so young. And because you don't feel it when you're there, obviously, but when you see it, when I see my son's 17-year-old baby face when he was 17, my oldest, I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. So yeah, honestly, my youngest son is right at the age where I started like drinking and smoking weed like regularly every day. When I was 12, 13. I was full blown alcoholic pothead by the time I was 14. Just, every day. There's these little, here, I'll even show you what because they were the equivalent to the juice boxes. What the, oh gosh, dang it. Hang on. I'll show you what I used to fill up with vodka every day. If I can find a picture of them. Dun, dun, dun. Well, it was the old like Kool-Aid plastic juice bottles from like the 70s. So I would, my sister was older and she would buy me booze, and then I would fill a little bit up every day and go to elementary school and junior high lit. Lit. Randy Kelly for $2 says, read Life After Google. They mentioned that in the Joe Rogan podcast, and I really want to read that because my plan is someday to completely unplug. Last time I completely unplugged was 6 years ago for 1 month. I completely unplugged, no phone, no computer or anything. It was kind of nice. Now I make my living on the computer now, so obviously I can't do that just yet. But we're working towards getting the comic shop conceived and getting the online shop ready, and it's going to take a year. But someday in retirement, like I said, Mrs. Nerdrotic just bought a trailer that we're going to use as kind of our guest house in our backyard, and got it for $1,200. It's a pretty cool trailer too. But I have to drive to Utah to get it. And it had the best ad. I wish I could share the ad with you. The ad said, it asked for $1,200, but it said, we'll take a shotgun we'll take trade, a shotgun, or pay some of our medical bills. I'm like, oh, I like that. Little barter town. Speaking of Bada Town, Peter Davison is here with Australian $5. Is my memory Mandela influenced, or was there not a Star Trek figure of Spock with a beard in the 1970s? There was not. There was not that I know of. No, I don't. They only did the regular Spock. The Mirror Spock is a reproduction that they've done. I don't know if they did one earlier, but they just did one, and I have it behind me. It is right there above my finger. So there's Kirk and there's Spock, and that just came out. Mego is back in business. I don't like the molds as much. The Star Trek molds look good, but some of the other ones don't look that great. But I'm glad they're back in business. It was one of my all-time favorite companies. They made the best goddamn toys. That Human Torch, which is right there, that was pretty much my very first toy when I was a kid. So yeah, too bad they should do Mego Star Wars figures. I hate Star Wars now, but if the original trilogy do Mego Star Wars figures, I think that'd be fun. They should get that license. Peter Davison says deep state deep floored for Australian $2. Now Seawalker 94, yes, Plex account here. Gosh dang it. Plex TV. Is it free? Here we go. Well, I'm thinking about it. There. Try to just sign up with my there. I'll get it to you. I just signed up. Right. So at least that's set up. Peter Davison, you are being monitored. I believe I saw a message in the feed change while watching, while the next message from the other viewer was deleted. Was that only me? That might be my mods getting rid of the porn bots that are in here. So the Lazar interview, we're going to go over more on the exozone. Okay. And it was fascinating. I actually got to listen to it again. I made sure I wasn't falling asleep. I was doing some work around here, hanging up the action figures and listening to a lot of live streams and stuff. But there's so much news. I could have made 10 videos this weekend. I could have made 10. And let me know. I'm going to try testing some stuff now that I've passed 100,000 subs. I feel like I can be a little experimental, but let me know if you love or hate. I'm going to start taking segments from the big long live streams and editing them down into like little bite-sized pieces. I won't do it all the time, but there was, the comic book industry is near and dear to my heart. And there's just been tons of comic news, like Vertigo shut down. One of the biggest retailers is kind of rebelling now, and he's actually going to, well, I mean, he invented this business model practically, but he's going to be using the business model that I'm going to be using for my comic shop, which is basically, I'm not going to sell anything new, and I'm not going to have a Diamond account. I might just have an Ingram account, or just, I don't think I'm going to, I don't want to do business with Diamond, to be honest with you. Diamond and I did not break up on very good terms, we'll just say. So I will say that when I sold my shop, I was financially fragged. And it was, I mean, like, my shop closing has nothing to do with all the SJW stuff at all. It was me. And I've told the story. I relapsed, and lots of the shop was doing great, and I made sure I screwed it up royally. So financially fragged. So I had to do what you have to do when you're financially fragged. I had to file for chapter 11. It's 11, 13, the one where you pay people back. So I filed for bankruptcy, and and basically with chapter 13, you cut a deal with your creditors. You're like, hey, I can't pay back everything, but I'll pay back. And what you end up paying is your principal. So what you owed anyway, without interest on some stuff. Right. So I paid everybody back, and I was in like credit hell for 5 years. I paid everybody back. And I could have done the other one, and I decided not to. I wanted to pay people back. I felt bad enough already. It was like it sucked. It was just everything about it sucked. And I didn't know this. I had closed out my bank account. Then I went to go get another one, and they wouldn't give me a bank account. So I went 5 years or 4.5 years without a bank account. Now my wife had one, and the best thing we ever did was, when we bought our house, we weren't married. So we bought our house. I know this isn't UFO, sorry. Dual tenants in common. And that protected her from, because the only asset I had was the house. So they couldn't come after that. So we cut a deal, and I did everything I was supposed to do. I paid everybody back, including Diamond. Diamond did a lot of skullduggery in the meantime. And they effed with me quite a bit towards the end of my shop. They weren't giving me all of my shipments. I can talk about this freely now. So when they knew I was selling, they would charge me for my entire order, and they would only send half of it. So I had to call and ask, and then they would send some of it and not all. And they did that for 2 months. For 2 months. They would only send me half my shipment, but charge me for the whole thing, because they were trying to get their money back. And it was like some major petty effery, especially when I was already paying them back. And they couldn't, by law, they couldn't ask me for more money, because that's part of the bankruptcy protection. Is like, if they actually called and asked me for more money, I could have sued them, which I wouldn't have done. But again, I felt bad enough already. So paid everybody back. And then, and I haven't talked about this before. Yeah. So Diamond was purposely fucking with me towards the end, and they would charge me for the whole order and send me half. And they did that for 2 months, and I was helpless. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't fucking do anything. So, that's why I hate Diamond. So now y'all know. Okay. Back to UFOs. So we will talk about this more on the Exozone. Ancient Aliens is starting to lose me a little bit, because it's just long in the tooth. But I did see a 10th anniversary box set that I'm going to get. One of you fine people sent me that, the DM on that. I'm like, oh, I got to get that. So I think I'm going to get that and watch some of the older episodes. I got to see what's up with Giorgio, because Giorgio, 2 years ago, I mean, people go through things, and listen, physical appearance is not everything, okay? Especially when you're getting older. But he looked great a couple of years ago, and now he doesn't look so great. I'm wondering if there's something going on with his life. If you are one of my patrons tonight, I will put up, I know I haven't contacted you. I need to change the tiers. I've actually got the rest of the packages out. It's been a major pain, but we can do it, because I want to get everything done. Hopefully before I go to con, we can have all that straightened out. But on my reel, I'm going to show you guys my editing reel from 2011. It's got Giorgio on it. I can just show you all my footage from how I know Giorgio from Ancient Aliens, and how I was there before he got all famous. Yeah, As a matter of fact, I might be able to find that for y'all here. Hang on. Gary Baker, 2011 show reel Vimeo. Nope. 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 No. Vimeo. Oh my God. No, I'm not going to show you guys that. No way. Maybe it's on this one. Twisting the Muse. I think this YouTube channel. I have YouTube channels I've forgotten about. I'm sure you guys know I've done that before. I have Twisting the Muse. Yes, Twisting the Muse used to be the name of a channel. There it is. There it is. Do I have my reel on that? I don't think so. Oh yeah, there it is. There. This is my old editing reel. That's got Giorgio on it. Right there. Cops are evil. I don't know if cops are evil. I don't think all cops are evil. I think people can be evil and good. I think cops can be evil and good. I got a cop who lives across the street from me. He's the nicest guy in the world. His name is Gabe. He looks like a wrestler. He's all looks like the Rock. He's huge. And he's good to have as a neighbor, to be honest with you. We had a gnarly car accident the other day right down the street. People were like getting mad, threatening to fight each other. It was pretty funny. It's live. It's weird. San Francisco will get like really quiet at times, like eerily quiet. And then it like last night, it was like everybody was in rage party mode, fireworks going off, helicopters flying over. Everything was just freaking loud, sirens all goddamn night. Yeah. I didn't say, somebody said cops were evil in the chat. I don't think cops are evil. And listen, I've been arrested by a lot of cops. I've got my ass beaten by a couple of cops, like hard. I have as much beef as anybody. One time I got pulled over, and this was in 1988. So at Disneyland, you used to be able to buy pirate, musket pistols. You know those things I'm talking about, and they look fucking real, right? They look goddamn real. And I had one on the floor of my car, and I got pulled over for speeding. Cops saw it, freaked the hell out, beat the crap out of me, almost beat up my girlfriend, fucking dick. And because she was trying to get him off of me. And yeah, dude, I had a black eye, got my ass kicked, went home, told my dad what happened. He's all, yep, you should have got your ass kicked. That was my dad's answer. Love my dad. Giorgio was so awkward, nervous in front of the public before he got famous. Watched some lectures on YouTube. Yeah, D Artist Jewelry. He's genuinely a nice person. Like, I know some other ufology people. I think there's some major drama going on between him and Mike Barra right now. I don't know what it is, and I like both of those guys, but I know Giorgio a little bit. I mean, it's not like we're buds, but I've like spent time with him. And I know that at the time, anyway, he was just a genuinely nice guy, like really talkative, really into the subject, really knowledgeable of the subject. And honestly, what you see in the show is, I loved how he leaned into his meme. I thought that was really good. That was good. Do you have a report about the DARPA balloons? No. Let's look that up before we go. The DARPA balloons. DARPA balloons. DARPA floats winking. It's a balloon. Hint to explain Missouri UFOs. I didn't know there was Missouri UFOs. Yeah, that looks like a balloon. That definitely looks like a balloon. Here, I'll share it with you, but this looks like a balloon to me. I would sense that. I apologize on the website. It's a goddamn gizmodo. But yeah, that looks like a balloon to me. What are they doing though? What are they doing with these balloons? What are those strange objects flying over Kansas City, Missouri last night? Plenty of people took to Twitter yesterday to speculate what they might be. Anything from the internet. Hey, they shot a rocket off at Vandenberg a couple of years ago here, and the entire state saw it and thought it was a UFO, including myself. But I've seen rockets take off before, so once I saw the plume afterwards, I'm like, it's just a rocket. But at first, it looked like a goddamn UFO. So what while Loon does routinely fly balloons over the US from our branch site in Nevada, we do not currently have balloons in the area where the sightings have been reported. Loon Coriel told Gizmodo by email. The U.S. Department of Defense wouldn't confirm on the record that the mystery objects people saw last night were DARPA's, but they did tell Gizmodo that 3 balloons had recently been launched by DARPA from Maryland. Well, that's Maryland. So it flew all the way over Missouri. On June 18th, DARPA launched 3 balloons from Cumberland, Maryland in a flight test for the Adaptable Lighter Than Air program. Department of Defense spokesperson Heather Babb told Gizmodo by email Alta was to demonstrate the capability of windborne navigation of lighter than air vehicle over extended ranges. Did she just say that? That they actually just put a balloon in the sky and they wanted to see if it was capable for windborne navigation of lighter than air vehicle over extended ranges? In other words, I'm going to put a balloon in the sky and see where it goes? Seriously? Well, now I'm thinking something's up. Aren't you guys? I hear that explanation. I'm like, wait a minute. Because at first I was believing it's a balloon. Now I think they're full of shit. They even had will demonstrate capability for windborne navigation of lighter than air vehicle over extended ranges. In other words, we filled up a balloon and put it in the sky. Man, there's some fuckery going on in the government. Hey, thanks for pointing that out. That was weird. Gee, even we know that from paper planes, right? Oh, hey, they are going for the lowest common denominator, but thank God that is not anybody here in Nerdrotic Live or at Nerdrotic. Man, I am Christy Miller. I'm going to give you carpal tunnel if I don't fix these freaking porn bots. Zach Quinto did a rebooted In Search Of. Awful. I did. Frack Off. Frugal Carb. I saw it and I could not agree more. It was freaking terrible. Shat. Hey, the Shat is going to be doing a show called Unexplained. You guys going to check that out? Because I am. So the Doomcock interview Doomcock got cock blocked. And it turns out it was some SJWs, but it was also some non-SJWs. It was people from a sports radio thing. Ben Maller from Fox Sports Radio, and life is surreal. But it looks like that they might Doomcock might get one down the road. So my suggestion, I mean, listen, I'm not your daddy. I am not daddy internet. But I wouldn't ask Shatner if he'll interview Doomcock, because I think it'll just get you blocked. So it's just best to wait a little bit, and then I think it'll really happen. But again, I'm not telling you what to do. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't tell other YouTubers what to do. I don't tell you what to do. You do what you like. Do you know Corey Good is threatening anyone who has ever criticized him with the FBI now. Luckily for me, I was named in the complaint, apparently. Really honorably tainted. Corey Good, the goods are in on him. All right. He's about to get in a lot of fucking trouble because here's the deal. Here's the fucking deal with that. It's good to spin stories. Honestly, he should have wrote them in a book, called them fiction, and he's already got kind of an author name. He probably would have been okay. But he's running around saying stuff is fact, and he's taking money for it. And depending on his business practices, you can get in a lot of trouble for that. And you need to be careful. You need to be really, really careful. And, you know, what I'm seeing from him and Wilcock, I'll just come out and say it. I don't mince words here. You know that. They're getting cultish. They're getting very, very cultish. It's almost like they're starting to form a cult. So hopefully nobody gets involved in that. I was in San Diego when Applewhite took out his followers. I was freaking there, caught in traffic. So quick story before I go. I used to deliver auto parts. Yes, I was 23. I had just got my life turned around. Like, I mean, a life from being on the streets, being destitute, being broken, uneducated. I had absolutely no skills whatsoever. So, I got a parts driving job and I knew how to drive. So I delivered auto parts and I did it for 3 years and it was a good job. So I'm doing a shortcut through San Diego County. I'm like, oh God, I got to get back. And the offices were in downtown. I was way up in North County. So there's a place called Rancho Santa Fe. It's like a really rich area of San Diego, north of San Diego, that you can cut through and avoid all the freeways. So I decided to do that on the worst day possible. I'm cutting through Rancho Santa Fe, and all of a sudden, this road that nobody ever knows is closed. And I'm like, and I can't turn around. I can't freaking turn around. So I am stuck there. Turns out I went down the road, and down the road where Applewhite and his followers had their house. You know, the Hale-Bopp comet. This was in 1997. And they thought there was a giant spaceship behind the Hale-Bopp comet. And they thought if they killed themselves, they would join the aliens. They were all castrated. These people were all the males were castrated. And they had the Nikes or whatever, and they poisoned themselves. Yeah. The day I decided to use that shortcut is the day they found all those bodies. And I sat with the company car. I ended up having to take it home because I was in 3.5 hours of traffic. Well, not traffic. I was stuck. So I just had my AM radio on, listening to all the news going down about them finding a bunch of bodies. Nobody knew what it was at first. They just said they found a bunch of bodies. They didn't say anything about a cult. So we thought it was like some crazy serial killer or something. It was crazy. But yeah, I got caught up in that. God damn it. He's still on the Hale-Bopp comet. Good old Applewhite, man. That guy was nuts. But imagine with the internet now that these, you know, we got, listen, I'm not saying that's I used to like David Wilcock. I used to listen to David Wilcock. I thought his Antarctica stuff was pretty, but then when he got with Corey Good, it got, that doesn't do the movement any, listen, no judgment on you if you listen to the stuff, whatever you like. I mean, if you like it as entertainment, that's cool. I understand that. If you just know it's like, hey, it's bullshit, but I like listening to it. Okay, that's no problem. I do that with a lot of stuff. But just know that like Corey Good is not a de-aged guy who's been to Mars and been on spaceships and like, no, let's not push it here. I'll believe in a lot of things. I don't believe in that. Liberty Geek says, honestly, I've never been a fan of Wilcock. And you know what? I shouldn't have been either. Liberty. It's like I got turned off real quick. And a lot of people are getting turned off. There was a lot of scuttlebutt at Contact in the Desert this year. The people I talked to, in 2016, Wilcock was everywhere. He was on every panel. Everybody loved him. And he was on an upward trajectory. And then he did this Corey Good thing. And I think he kind of effed himself. Yeah. But there's a lot of people I used to be fans of. I'm not that much anymore. I'm hanging in there with Mike Barra, although Mike Barra is really hardcore against this to the Stars Academy. He thinks it's a total op. But I'm hanging in there with Mike Barra. Richard Dolan's the man. Richard Dolan's great. There's still a lot of great people in ufology, and you got to follow them. But it seems like the cream of the crop right now is Dolan. Look at who's fallen off because they got too weird. Like Stephen Greer, who I used to like a lot. He kind of went off a deep end a little bit. Nick Pope is still around. Nick Pope got a lot of criticism for being called a government op. It's like, no, he used to work for the government. He's doing a great video series for the New York Post on it's called The Basement. So check that out. I think it's part four, and they're going over UFO stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we have the Nick Pope thing. We have Unidentified. Of course, we have Ancient Aliens, but that doesn't really count as disclosure. And we have the Bob Lazar interview. All of this happening on the heels of the Sunspot incident and Oumuamua. I know a lot of people say this, but I legit think something's going on. I have no idea what it is. I think maybe what we'll do next Exozone is Doomcock and I will get together and really try to work out a theory of what we think it is. Like, we'll get top 3 theories. And if you guys have a theory, please email me at gary@nerdrotic.com. Please hit Exozone. Make sure to put, if it's an Exozone thing, please title it Exozone so I can put it in the proper file. If you could, please. I would greatly appreciate it. Please subscribe to this channel. I like this channel a lot. I think it's fun where I can just turn on a camera and talk about whatever. So yeah, in about an hour and 20 minutes, I will be starting I will be at Doomcock's channel, Overlord DVD, for the Inquisition tonight. There will be much to talk about. Much to talk about, but I'm going to take off right now. Crucify some more action figures. But you guys are brilliant. How many of you, I didn't even look at the number. How many of you were here today? Oh man, I got some more super chats, so I guess I ain't going anywhere yet. Holy shit. Really? Wow. There's a lot of you guys watching. I didn't even know. Oh, okay. I'm hanging for a little bit. All right. Corey and David sitting in a tree. KISSING. Output Panther for $2. Yeah, I think they broke up though. I think they're mad at each other. There was some major drama between them about a year ago. I remember L.A. Marzulli was talking to one. I don't know how you guys feel about L.A. Marzulli. I like him a bit. I like him when he's on his giant stuff. I think his movies are kind of entertaining. His like End of the World, the Watcher series. I love a guy named L.A. who, I mean, is quintessential LA. He's like straight up. If you want to know what an LA person is, you look at LA Marzulli. I mean, minus the Christian part, but like just how he talks and yeah, he's like straight up. That's somebody from LA right there. I love LA. I'm actually a fan. Generic for Canadian $20. Jaw muscle fact is from study about how people with weaker jaw muscles skulls expand wider during childhood development because there is less pressure inside the skin, allowing the plates to align differently before fusing. That's interesting. Why not? Yes. If you can have more brain mass, you're going to be smarter. That's why you got to think about the elongated skulls a little bit. That we need to do an exozone on. We have not done an exozone on the elongated skulls because that is some weird shite. At first, I thought it was just cradle headboarding, and a lot of it is, but even if all of it is, which it's not, by the way, it's not all cradle headboarding. They've proven it. So, but even if it is, why? Why were they doing that? Were they emulating somebody? Did it actually make you smarter? I mean, it must. It makes your brain bigger. I don't know. I mean, not the cradle headboarding, but if you were born naturally like that, your brain was bigger. Was that some type of human from Paracas? Was it the Paracas people? Brian Forrester is a weird dude, but I like him. He's like a likable weird guy. He's legit. Brian Forrester is legit. Talked to him very, very briefly at his table. He was filling out the books. He's pretty nice. He's pretty cool, but yeah. Captain Mary Sue SJW 499. Hi, Gary. Small world. I used to work for Rancho Santa Fe Security, headquartered in Encinitas at the time. We were the first on the scene. No shit. Really? Then we were in the same area. So Captain Mary Sue SJW, are you still in the God's country that is Encinitas, California, my hometown? That's the one thing I love about Unidentified is here. I even saved one of the screenshots from last night's episode because it made me fucking homesick as hell. So just so you guys know, not that you care, every summer, I hate summers in San Francisco because I mean it's sunny right now, but it's usually like foggy and I get super homesick. So I end up it's a good thing con rolls around, but if it was, I end up going back to San Diego like 4 or 5 times during the summer just because I get homesick. But yeah, this is where I grew up. It doesn't suck. This is actually Leucadia, but that's still Encinitas. Yeah, not a bad place, right? I'll read a couple super chats while you look at that beautiful coastline. Piano Dean for $5. I can't believe there were people who believe there was a UFO in the wake of the Hale-Bopp comet. Everyone knows it was a time machine. Duh, right. It was. It absolutely was. Hey, the Hale-Bopp comet was cool as hell. Like, I don't know where you guys were in the world and stuff, but I was in San Diego at the time and you could see it. And it like every night, and it got old. It was up there for so long. It was up there for months and months. And it was cool as hell. And I couldn't see Halley's Comet when it came by. We didn't see that, but Hale-Bopp was amazing. Yeah. Gary, I love those Dogons. Do you think we should do an exozone alien scene with all the tubers watching your channel? Cops are great friends, says Output Panther for $5. Yes. Yeah, that would be great. That'd be absolutely great. Yeah, cops are cool. I have no problem with cops. I used to, but that's because I was breaking the law. See, you know how you avoid cops? It's this. I know I have some unsolicited old man Gary advice. I want you to take this to heart, folks. If you don't mess with guns, if you don't mess with drugs, if you don't mess with the ladies or the men of the night, you generally won't ever, or you don't get in debt with gambling or any stuff. You generally won't ever cross a path with a cop unless you're speeding in your car. You can go a lifetime without getting shot at or arrested or handcuffed. And you wouldn't even be leading like a constrictive life. You would be leading a very free life. I had to try really hard. And I'll tell you, it's since there is, it's been a long time. So they only have a certain amount. I forgot what the term is for because I'm brain farting right now. But there's statute of limitations. And I haven't committed any crimes that don't have a statute of limitations. And I could say I got away with a hell of a lot more than I got caught for. Because it's really hard to interact with a cop. You have to really get in trouble. You have to really do something stupid. You have to, and all of my experiences with the cops, other than the little pistol thing where the guy, I mean, honestly, he should have been mad. He shouldn't have kicked my ass though. Listen, I deserved it. I deserved everything I got. And when I tell the story someday, a cop saved my life. A cop saved my life. Total stranger saved my life. I would not be here talking to you if it wasn't for a cop doing his job. So there it is. That's my feeling on cops. They're people. Just try to stay. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you if this turns into a police state and cops start arresting people for speech and stuff like that, then we got a problem. Then we got a problem we need to talk about. But and maybe that's happening in Europe right now. I'm not too sure, but right now we good. We good. So we're looking at lovely Encinitas right there. And now I've really got to go. Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any. C Walker 94. I have a Plex account. I'll be hitting you up right after this. Okay. Oh, I see. I did. Okay. Okay. Ald Baden for $1.99. Killer clowns from outer space for Levity. Killer clowns from outer space. I had the worst clown dream ever when I was a kid. And it kind of looked like the killer clowns from outer space, but it wasn't. They were more like elongated versions. And they would come down and they would stretch you. So, I had this nightmare when I was like, I think 9 or 10. So these clowns were coming and they would grab you. They were like 7 or 8 feet tall and they would stretch you, but it would hurt, but it wouldn't kill you. And they would stretch you in the dreams. It was a bizarre dream. It must have been some bad, Shakey's Pizza or something like that. Making sure I didn't miss any more super chats. Didn't Mandela a super chat. All right. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. I'll see you in an hour. Don't forget to go subscribe to Doomcrock's channel, Overlord DVD. We will be live in an hour and 9 minutes now. So I better save my voice. Looks like your boy Zach just released a video, Vertigo RIP. So check out. Is there anybody? Hang on. Is there anybody live right now? Who's live? Who's live? Oh, I got to subscribe to more people on this channel. I really haven't done that. That's terrible of me. Yeah, I don't see anybody live. Oh, my video's got 21,000 views. That's great. All right, everybody, have a great day. Remember, we do not kneel over here. Check out the Patreon, which I got to change all the levels. So, I mean, right now, you can support me for just $1 a day. We will be doing weekly content there very, very soon once I get my life in order and get the tiers changed. The content you're going to get is weekly content, and then we're going to do tiers where you can come on the show and do like a segment and stuff. So we're going to make it more interactive. No more. The packages are all sold out. Everything's sold out. Because I'm out. So, and yeah, we don't effing kneel over here. We don't kneel. Doom's channel is here. I'll put in the link. Hang on. Let's put in the link for Overlord DVD. Overlord DVD YouTube. There he is. There you go. There's the link to Doomcock McQueen. Speaking of which, we got some t-shirts coming. We got a McQueen t-shirt. We got a Disco Sucks t-shirt. We got some other stuff coming. That's coming soon. So, but we got the comic shop coming. The GoFundMe for the comic shop is going to be announced very, very soon. This will be, I hate to say, I don't know. I never want to limit myself, but because when I first started YouTubing, I said I would never do a GoFundMe, and I'm just not going to say never. But this is probably the only time I ever do something like this. I'm not really big on that. I don't mind if other people do, and I will help support anybody's GoFundMe ever. Listen, capitalism's great. So Amelia Clark is a sweetie, Larry. She is. Absolutely dig her a lot. There's some interesting Game of Thrones news, but I'll save that for a video. All right, everybody. I'll give my poor mod the break now. I will fix that. I promise. See you in an hour. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.